God says, I command you to listen this now. Something very shocking will happen in your home tonight, and if you keep walking away from this warning, you alone will be fully responsible for what's about to happen. Don't hurt God by skipping this. Right now, heaven is reaching for your heart, and it is not by accident that you're hearing this at this very moment. There are no coincidences when it comes to God. When He speaks, it is not casual. It is not vague. It is not just for your ears. It is a call to your soul. God says, I command you to listen this now. That means this is not an ordinary message. This is not a suggestion. It is a divine instruction that carries weight in the spiritual realm. When God uses the word command, it is a matter of life and death, of breakthrough or destruction, of protection or exposure. Something very shocking will happen in your home tonight, and that is not a threat. It is a divine warning that carries the burden of love, the urgency of heaven, and the ache of a father who does not want to lose his child to the darkness circling your home. Please take 1 second right now and comment, Amen, to receive this in your spirit. You might not understand it yet, but the presence of God is already moving around you as you hear this. There is something stirring in your home, in your atmosphere, something you can't quite see with your eyes, but your soul has already felt the tremble. You know deep inside that something is shifting. You might have tried to brush it off, you may have kept yourself busy, you may have drowned out the noise of your spirit with distractions, but God never stopped calling. And now He says, I command you to listen this now. This is not just about fear. This is about protection. It is about the divine covering over your life and your family, and that covering is fragile when we choose to walk away from the voice of the Lord. There are moments in life when heaven interrupts earth, and this is one of those moments. Something very shocking will happen in your home tonight, and you are being given a chance not just to prepare, but to partner with heaven so that what the enemy meant for destruction is reversed by divine intervention. But God makes it clear, if you keep walking away from this warning, if you keep treating His voice like a distant sound, if you keep running when He's calling, then the responsibility will no longer lie in His hands. He's giving you every chance. He's opening the door wide. He's sending this message with tears in His eyes because He does not want your household to suffer the blow that is meant for those who turn their backs. God's love is not silent when danger is near. He warns those He loves. He speaks before the storm. He prepares a table in the presence of enemies, but you have to show up. You have to sit. You have to take the word seriously. Don't hurt God by skipping this. Don't shut the door on the very voice that is trying to shield your house from what hell has planned for the night. If your heart has been heavy lately, if strange things have been happening around your home, tension, unexplained conflict, sleeplessness, sickness, spiritual pressure, then this is not just a message. This is heaven's rescue plan. This is your Father throwing Himself in front of the attack, saying, listen to me, stay with me, let me fight for you. But you must let Him in. You must stay until the end. You must hear what He has to say, because what He says tonight will determine what happens in the next 24 hours in your house. God does not lie. God does not exaggerate. If He says something shocking will happen, it is not to scare you, it is to awaken you before it's too late. Maybe you felt distant. Maybe your prayer life has gone quiet. Maybe you've stopped believing that God still speaks. But He is speaking now, and He is commanding your attention, because the weight of what's coming cannot be carried without Him. Please, if this has stirred something in you, take 1 second and like this video. That small act might be the door that lets someone else hear this in time. When God warns, it is because of love. You are not being punished. You are being pursued. You are being fought for. God is fighting for your family right now, even if you haven't had the strength to pray. He's been standing at the door of your house, watching the shadows gather, and instead of letting them in, He sent this word ahead like a floodlight in the dark, like a siren before the impact. But you must stop walking away. You must stop treating this as if it's optional. You must stop assuming you'll have more time. Time is a gift that runs on the mercy of God, and tonight that mercy is calling your name with urgency and compassion. God says, don't hurt Him by skipping this. Do not leave His voice unheard. Do not silence the tug on your heart. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not too late. But you are at a turning point. You are at the edge of something, and if you lean into His voice now, everything can change. If you stay, if you listen, if you open your spirit and receive, then what the enemy meant to destroy in your home tonight will become the very place where God proves His power. You are not alone. Even now, as you listen, the Spirit of God is entering the room. His angels are moving into position. His hand is reaching for you. He sees your fear, your weariness, your confusion. He knows how long you've carried the weight alone. And this is His way of lifting it. But you must listen. You must stay. You must take this seriously. Could this 7-second CIA brainwave trick be your fastest path to luxury? Leaked research reveals a simple ritual helping people attract wealth effortlessly. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, debt is dissolving and abundance is showing up fast. If you're seeing this now, you are God's chosen one. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. There is no room for pride now. No space for stubbornness. No time to delay. What happens next depends on what you choose now. God is not condemning you, He is pleading with you. He is saying, child, I see the battle. I see the storm. I see what's circling your home. Let me in. Let me cover you. Let me turn the shock into a testimony. Let me silence the darkness before it gets too close. This is why you are hearing this right now. Heaven is intervening in your timeline. God is trying to spare your household from what the devil has already scheduled. But this is the gate. This is the door. This is the lifeline. Grab it. Hold on. Don't let it pass by. Every word that follows is part of the covering. Every sentence that comes next is part of your defense. If you walk away now, the shield will not be in place. There is a war in the unseen realm that has already begun around your household, and the Lord, in His mercy, is stretching out His hand through this message to say, do not delay, do not hesitate, do not treat this as ordinary, because what happens in your obedience tonight will determine whether peace or turmoil takes root in your home. Heaven is not playing with your soul. God is not whispering this for entertainment. He is roaring over your house with a voice that shakes the foundations of hell, and still, He lowers His voice into a whisper of love so you would not be frightened, but pulled in, drawn close, made still by the strength of His arms around you. This is not just about what is coming tonight. It is about everything God has been protecting you from that you never saw, everything He blocked in silence, every attack that was planned against your children, your relationships, your mind, but was stopped at the gate because He said, "Not this one, not my child." You are chosen, and chosen people are not left without warning when danger approaches. God does not allow His beloved to walk blindly into the enemy's trap. The shocking thing that is set to happen in your home tonight is not greater than God's power, but it is real. It is not bigger than His presence, but it carries weight. This is why He is warning you now. It is not to paralyze you with fear, but to prepare you with authority. You are not helpless. You are not unarmed. You have the blood of Jesus, the name above every name, and the presence of a God who never sleeps and never misses a moment. Still, if you walk away, if you turn your heart cold, if you ignore this word, you are the one who will bear the cost. Not because God wants to punish you, but because He gave you the sword, and if you drop it, the enemy will not hesitate. That is why this warning is urgent. That is why heaven is leaning in close, asking you to stop scrolling, stop doubting, stop running, and listen. Right now, the Lord is wrapping your home in His wings, but you must come into the shelter. His covering is not automatic, it is offered, and then it must be accepted. He cannot force you to stay under His protection. But He is offering it now, with everything in Him, with tears in His eyes, with fire in His breath, with angels on assignment, saying, "Listen to this, stay until the end, hold on to every word, because this is how I will cover you. This is how I will keep your family safe tonight." The things that are happening in the spirit realm tonight are not just casual shifts. These are the kind of moments that mark generations, that open doors or close them, that draw new lines in the sand between what was and what will be. God is standing in your house tonight, holding back what the enemy sent, but the moment you reject His voice, that line of defense begins to crack. That is why the voice of God sounds like urgency tonight. That is why you feel your heart racing, your eyes welling up, your spirit leaning in. Because deep down, your soul knows this is not a game. This is the place where peace is either born or broken. This is the place where your future turns toward light or slips into unnecessary suffering. But it is not too late. God says again, "I command you to listen this now." There is still time. There is still power. There is still victory waiting on the other side of your surrender. The storm can be stopped before it enters. The attack can be cancelled before it lands. The damage can be undone before it begins. But you must respond. You may not see what is approaching, but God sees it all. He sees the arguments that were waiting to erupt. He sees the spirits of confusion trying to enter your children's hearts. He sees the heaviness pressing down on your spouse's mind. He sees the sickness forming in the shadows, the emotional weight gathering at your doorstep, the spiritual battles trying to rise up while you sleep. And instead of leaving you exposed, He's giving you His voice, His word, His warning. Don't hurt God by skipping this. Don't treat his love like a background sound. You are the reason he is speaking. Your home is the place he wants to fill with light. Your family is the one he wants to protect. This is not about judgment, it is about mercy. Mercy is speaking loudly tonight, and every moment you continue to listen is a moment of grace pouring into your atmosphere. You are not defenseless. The Lord is mighty in battle. He does not lose. He does not tremble. And he does not speak without reason. When he says listen now, he is positioning you for preservation. He is placing you behind the shield of his presence. He is silencing the chaos before it breaks in. But only if you stay. Only if you receive. Comment 222 if you trust this word is guarding your home right now. What's really behind the 7-second brain trick exploding online? A leaked CIA ritual is turning heads and bank balances. Backed by neuroscience labs, this at-home method removes money blocks and unlocks unstoppable wealth flow. But the page could vanish anytime. Click the link in the first comment before it's permanently deleted. The miracles of God are not far from you. They are closer than your next breath. If you would only stay here, if you would only believe, then what was meant to shake your house tonight will turn into a testimony that your family tells for years to come. You will wake up with peace instead of panic. You will feel the air in your home shift. You will see arguments dissolve. You will see protection rise. And you will know, it was not because of your own strength, but because you listened when God said, I command you. Right now, he is pouring out favor over your house. He is lighting candles of protection in the Spirit. He is shutting every open door the enemy wanted to use. And he is doing it all out of love. Out of relentless, unstoppable, tender, protective, wild, holy love. He has not left you alone in this. His presence is thick around you right now, and whether you feel it fully or not, it is real. This is not the time to drift away. This is the time to lean in like your life depends on it, because tonight, it truly does. There are things happening in your home that cannot be explained by natural eyes. There has been tension you cannot name, heaviness you can't shake, arguments rising without cause, and confusion slipping in through open spiritual cracks. This is not just emotion. This is spiritual warfare. There are battles being stirred in the spirit realm, and the enemy has marked your home for chaos. But heaven saw it coming long before you did. That's why God gave the command. That's why he said listen. That's why he is not whispering this softly anymore, but calling out in love, warning you like a parent standing in front of a child who is too close to danger. This is not about punishment. This is about prevention. God is trying to stop what the devil has already begun. You may not see the full plan, but God sees every detail. He knows what the enemy is hoping to do in your household tonight. He knows the trap that has been quietly built behind the scenes. He knows the lies that were whispered in your family's ears, the spiritual arrows that were aimed at your peace. And because he is a good father, because he never abandons his own, he is revealing this to you now, not to scare you, but to strengthen you with truth. You need to hear this with your spirit wide open. God is not waiting to rescue you after the damage has been done. He is stepping in right now, ahead of the attack, because his love does not operate from behind, it meets the storm face to face. He is a defender, a shield, a consuming fire that stands between his children and the forces of destruction. You may have been too tired to fight. You may have felt too overwhelmed to pray. But even in your silence, God has been preparing this moment to warn you in time, to equip you in truth, and to save what you love from being torn apart. You cannot afford to be passive right now. The enemy thrives on spiritual apathy. He walks freely in the places where God's voice is ignored. But when even one person in a household says yes to God's warning, the atmosphere begins to shift. When one heart listens, heaven begins to fight harder. When one soul surrenders, angels are released to guard what the enemy tried to claim. That one person could be you tonight. That one open heart might be the very thing that saves your family from an unseen blow. The words of God are not small. When He speaks, reality bends. When He declares, hell trembles. And right now, He is still commanding your spirit to stay tuned, to keep listening, to hold on to every word like your breath depends on it. Because spiritually, it does. You may not see the war, but the war sees you. You may not feel the impact yet, but the shockwaves are already pressing near. And God is standing in the center, holding them back with His hand and saying, "Child, I'm giving you one more chance to listen and live. There is too much at stake for you to look away now. There is too much God wants to protect in your life. That thing you've been praying for in secret, that person in your family who's been drifting, that breakthrough that feels 1 inch out of reach, all of it is connected to your response in this moment. God is drawing a line between destruction and deliverance, and your agreement with His voice is what determines which side your house stands on tonight. Please, hear this in your heart. You are not weak. You are not unworthy. You are not forgotten. You are not too far from His reach. Right now, God is stretching out His covering over you because you still belong to Him. Even if you walked away. Even if you doubted. Even if you've been silent. His love for you has not wavered, and this warning is not a punishment, it's a rescue plan, sent with urgency and tenderness to draw you back under the shadow of His wings before the storm fully arrives. Comment 333 to declare your faith that God is protecting your home tonight. He is lighting a fire in your spirit right now. Can you feel it? That tug in your heart. That weight on your chest. That is the Holy Spirit awakening your discernment, sharpening your awareness, and shaking you out of the sleep the enemy tried to lull you into. You were never meant to live unaware. You were never created to walk blindly through life. God placed His Spirit in you so you could recognize His voice and respond. And tonight, He is speaking clearly, because your home, your peace, your next season is on the line. This is not the time to doubt. This is the time to speak God's promises over your home like your life depends on it. Speak peace into your walls. Speak safety over your children. Speak light into every dark room. Pray over the doorways. Lay hands on your pillow. Invite the presence of God into every corner of your house, because when the Lord is present, darkness has no place to breathe. The secret ritual they never wanted public is finally out. A 7-second brain technique, backed by leaked CIA data and 4 neuroscience labs, is helping families erase debt and attract money on autopilot. But this miracle won't stay public long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's gone forever. No evil can stand in the presence of the Almighty. No plan of the enemy can succeed when the house is filled with worship. No curse, no heaviness, no spiritual weight can survive where God is enthroned. You may not know how to fight this battle with your own words, but God will fight it for you when you listen and trust Him fully. Let Him speak through you. Let Him move through you. Let Him cover your family with His fierce and perfect love. Tonight could have gone another way. Without this word, without this warning, things might have unraveled. But God stepped in. God interrupted the plans of hell. God changed the outcome by giving you this moment. And all He asks is that you stay with Him. Don't walk away. Don't turn off the light of truth. Stay here, under His shelter, until the morning comes. Your home is about to be wrapped in divine peace. The war is real, but the victory is promised. Let this moment be the turning point. Let this night be the night your home became a sanctuary again. Let this be the moment you said yes to God's voice, and no to fear, confusion, and chaos. That thick, invisible pressure that's been pressing on your family, on your emotions, on your clarity, that's being lifted now, not by force, not by your strength, but by the soft, holy weight of God's love stepping in and reclaiming what belongs to Him. There are moments in life that feel small but carry eternity in them, and this is one of those moments. As your ears are hearing this, your spirit is being reminded that the enemy does not win unless we give him space. And God has not left you without help. He is speaking to you with such urgency tonight because He has already fought through spiritual resistance just to get this warning to you in time. Every time you feel the pull to walk away or ignore it, remember that it took divine force to bring this to your attention, and that means it matters more than you think. Heaven has been watching over your house, even when you were not aware of it. You've been kept alive by mercy. There were nights that should have crushed you, arguments that should have broken everything apart, anxiety that should have swallowed your peace, but God stepped in. Quietly. Powerfully. Faithfully. You may not have realized how close you were to collapse, but God did. That's why this moment is so sacred. This is your chance to respond to what heaven has already been fighting on your behalf. The attack that was meant to strike tonight was not small. It was planned in layers. Confusion. Division. Delay. Emotional outbursts. Fear. Maybe even accidents. But God saw it all. And instead of letting you be caught off guard, He chose to wake you up with His voice. The moment you opened your heart to this message, a shift began. The heaviness began to lift. The trap began to break. Because there is no attack that survives in the presence of an obedient child of God. You need to understand how serious this is. The enemy works in silence. He hides in distractions. He thrives when we ignore the voice of the Lord. But when even one person says, "I will listen," the veil starts to tear. The plans of hell start to fall apart. The devil loses his grip on that household. And right now, that person is you. You are standing in the gap for your family, whether they know it or not. Whether they believe it or not. Whether they're awake or asleep in their beds, you are the one heaven has chosen to respond to this call, to receive this word, and to shift the course of what was about to happen tonight. Please take a second and comment 555 if you feel your home being covered as you listen. This isn't just spiritual talk. This is divine reality. In the book of Exodus, God passed over homes that were marked by the blood, sparing them from destruction. And tonight, that same protection is being released over your home through the power of obedience. Your response to God's command is the spiritual equivalent of placing the mark on your doorway. When you say yes to His voice, you're saying, God, cover us. God, protect us. God, step into our home and drive out every spirit that is not from you. And He will. He always does. There are things trying to enter your home through weariness, through grief, through unresolved hurt. The devil doesn't always come through the front door. Sometimes he slips in through the cracks, through that lingering bitterness, through that unspoken tension between you and someone you love, through the heaviness that's been sitting on your shoulders when you wake up. But God doesn't need a door to reclaim territory. When His Spirit comes in, it floods every part of the house. He fills the air. He moves through the silence. He heals what no words could ever fix. You may not have known what to do before. You may have tried everything. You may have cried until you felt empty, prayed until you were numb, waited until you stopped expecting change. But God is stepping into that exhaustion and saying, you don't have to fix it. Just let me in. Just respond to my voice. I've already started the work. I just need your agreement. That's what this moment is about. Agreement. God has already decided to protect you. He has already assigned angels to your household. He has already declared that your home shall live and not die, that peace shall rule and not panic, that clarity shall rise and not confusion. But the weight of that promise rests on your yes. On your willingness to take Him seriously. On your choice to stay in His presence and let His Spirit finish what He started. There is nothing more important happening around you right now than this moment. No distraction is worth missing what God is doing in your atmosphere. Every second you remain in this posture of listening, the enemy loses ground. Every word you let settle in your heart builds a stronger wall of protection around your house. Every breath you take under the covering of God becomes a declaration that your home is off limits to the enemy's plans. Is this leaked CIA ritual the missing key to your financial breakthrough? A once-hidden brain ritual is spreading fast. This strange 7-second method, confirmed by elite neuroscience labs, activates your brain's wealth magnet. The government may shut this down. If you're seeing this, you are God's chosen child. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. This is not a warning of doom. This is a warning of mercy. God is not trying to scare you. He's trying to spare you. He is not threatening your home, He's defending it. But He cannot force Himself into a place that refuses to listen. That's why He says again, and again, and again, I command you to listen. Not because He's angry. Because He's desperate to keep you safe. The shocking thing the enemy hoped to unleash tonight was meant to catch you unaware. But now you are aware. Now you've been warned. Now heaven has given you the upper hand. You are not powerless. You are not in danger when God is your defender. But you must remain in this moment with Him. Don't rush out of it. Don't treat it like any other word. This is the moment where peace wins if you stay long enough to receive it. If the Lord is prompting your heart right now, pause everything and listen. Let Him speak to you. He may whisper something personal. He may bring a face to your mind, a room in your home, a memory, a wound, a relationship. Whatever it is, bring it under His covering right now. Don't resist. Don't delay. This is how healing begins. This is how protection takes root. The Spirit of the Lord is walking through the halls of your house, touching the places where fear once lived, silencing the voices that tried to torment your peace, and reclaiming every corner that was under threat. The enemy has lost his grip the moment you opened your heart to this divine instruction, and he knows it. You are not powerless in this moment. God has handed you authority, not because of your works, not because you've done everything right, but because He loves you beyond your understanding. He is not asking for perfection, He is asking for surrender. The kind of surrender that says, God, I may not have all the answers, but I will not ignore your voice. That surrender is a weapon. That posture invites the Spirit of God to fight battles you were never meant to fight on your own. This battle around your household tonight is not random. It's been stirred up because something significant is connected to your name. There is purpose over your life. There is destiny on your bloodline. There are promises that God has spoken over your family, and the enemy, knowing he cannot stop God, tries to distract, delay, divide, or discourage you enough to walk away from what is already yours. But what the devil forgot is that obedience reopens what resistance tried to close. And tonight, because you've stayed, because you've listened, because you haven't walked away, that obedience is unlocking divine protection and releasing favor you didn't even know was held up. Please take a moment and comment 1212 to declare that divine favor is being released into your home right now. You might feel tired. You might have been under pressure all week. But the Spirit of God is lifting that heaviness off of you now. Not because the situation changed, but because the atmosphere has. God never promised that weapons wouldn't form, but He did promise that they wouldn't prosper. And tonight, He's standing by His word. The weapons that were being formed for your house, sudden illness, sharp conflict, deep discouragement, will not prosper because the blood of Jesus has been spoken over your name. The enemy's plan has been cancelled, not by force, but by the power of God's presence filling the space that was left vulnerable. Every moment you keep your spirit open to this message, God is closing doors the enemy tried to sneak through. That tension that's been in your house, that uneasiness in your sleep, that spiritual weight that's been lingering without explanation, it is being removed, not by your might, but because the Lord has walked in with authority. There are certain battles that don't belong to your voice, they belong to your surrender. When you let go of fear and respond to God with a full heart, you activate heaven's armies. The Lord does not sit still when His child cries out. He does not delay when one of His own responds with reverence. Right now, God is honoring your obedience. Even if you failed him before. Even if you doubted. Even if you were cold toward him yesterday. His mercy has reached further than your failure. His love is stronger than your distance. The shocking event that was scheduled to take place tonight was not unknown to God. He saw it long before you were aware, and he made a plan to stop it. This word is the plan. This moment of listening is the shield. This awareness is the way out. Do not underestimate what is happening as you keep your heart open. The very thing that was meant to steal your joy, to crack the peace in your home, to plant confusion in your relationships, to invite sorrow into your dreams, has now been stopped at the threshold. Because you chose to stay. Because you chose to hear. This is not a temporary protection. When God seals something, it is sealed. But you must continue to dwell in His presence. You must continue to treat His voice with the weight it deserves. This word is not just a one-time instruction, it is an invitation into a deeper covering, a continual protection, a daily refuge. You cannot return to the way things were. That heaviness you've been carrying, that cycle of spiritual highs and lows, God is calling you into something more stable, more constant, more peaceful. And it begins with tonight. You are not fragile. You are not barely holding on. You are not standing at the edge of defeat. You are standing in the center of a rescue, and God is the one holding you upright. That sense of stillness you feel right now is not a break from the battle, it is the result of victory being won in the Spirit. The war you didn't know how to fight has already been answered by heaven's army. The threat that lingered has been dealt with by the hand of the Lord. And you, yes, you, are covered. God's protection is not a theory. It is not symbolic. It is not poetic. It is real. It is practical. It is surrounding your bed, covering your children, guarding your front door, watching over the unseen cracks where the enemy wanted to slip in. And because you listened, because you obeyed, that covering is now stronger than ever. What if 7 seconds is all it takes to flip your financial fate? A shocking CIA leak just exposed a hidden brain ritual helping ordinary people erase debt and pull in massive wealth. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning struggle into luxury fast. But this page could be erased any moment. Click the link in the first comment now before it's gone forever. But do not become complacent. Do not slip back into spiritual silence. Let this night be the one where everything shifted. Let this be the line you draw in the sand. From this night forward, let your home be a dwelling place for God, not just a space of survival. Let your conversations invite peace. Let your worship rise freely. Let your atmosphere be guarded with discernment. You cannot afford to live with your ears closed when God has so clearly opened heaven's voice to you. Tonight could have broken you. But it didn't. Because God saw you. Because God warned you. Because God stayed with you. And because you stayed with Him. The next time heaviness tries to return, you will remember this night. The next time fear knocks on your door, you will remember that it has no permission to enter. The next time your faith feels weak, you will remember that obedience opens the door to divine rescue, and that God never sends a warning without sending protection along with it. He knows exactly what you've been carrying. He knows the weariness behind your smile, the ache hidden in your silence, the pressure building beneath your surface. And this moment, this holy, quiet moment, is where He begins to restore you from the inside out. This is more than just protection from something shocking meant to happen tonight. This is about rebuilding what has already been shaken in your life. The Lord is not just defending your home. He is rebuilding the walls of your heart. He is restoring what has been lost in your spirit. He is breathing fresh life into the dry places that you forgot could even feel alive again. That emotional numbness, that lingering fog of discouragement, that low, quiet voice that's been whispering, "Nothing will ever change," He is silencing it now with truth, with love, with fire. When God steps into your home, He doesn't just stop danger. He brings order to the chaos that's been tolerated for too long. He confronts the unrest that you've been calling normal. He gently but powerfully exposes the lies that have shaped your inner world, the assumptions that have built walls between you and His peace. And He replaces it all with something stronger, something eternal, something holy. Comment 777 if you feel the presence of God rebuilding your home and heart right now. It's no mistake that God waited until now to speak this clearly. He waited for your heart to be quiet enough, still enough, open enough to truly receive. So many times before, His whispers were drowned out by the noise of life. The rush. The stress. The endless demands. But now, He's got your full attention, and He's not just warning you anymore, He's transforming you. He's reminding you that He doesn't just want to be your emergency shelter in the storm. He wants to be the one who lives with you, walks with you, talks with you, every single day. For too long, the enemy has stolen moments that belong to God. Moments of peace, moments of joy, moments of closeness, moments of clarity. He's crept in through confusion, through distraction, through pain. But the Lord is declaring tonight that enough is enough. You've opened the door to Him, and He is reclaiming what the enemy tried to corrupt. Every hallway, every room, every corner of your house is being soaked in His presence. What was dark is being filled with light. What was heavy is becoming holy ground. This is not temporary. This is the beginning of a new atmosphere in your home. And it starts with this, your agreement. Your continued yes. God will not force Himself where He is not welcomed. But the moment you welcomed Him in by listening, by staying, by taking Him seriously, you gave Him full access. And now, His Spirit is moving freely through your life, silencing the voice of fear, quieting the rush of anxiety, removing the weight of guilt, and replacing it all with His peace. You are not the same person you were before this began. Maybe no one around you can see it yet, but in the Spirit, a shift has happened. The pressure is breaking. The fear is loosening its grip. The shadows are backing off. Because God Himself has entered, and wherever He dwells, darkness cannot remain. There is a new strength rising in you now. Not a loud, showy strength, but the kind that stands even when no one is looking. The kind that prays in the quiet. The kind that worships even while waiting. The kind that fights spiritual battles by remaining surrendered to God's voice. You may not feel brave, but you are. You may not feel bold, but God is making you bold. You may not feel worthy, but God has called you chosen. This shift you feel is not just about protection, it is about preparation. The same way He has warned you and covered you tonight, He is now preparing you for more. There are blessings ahead that your heart doesn't even know how to ask for yet. There is favor about to be poured out that doesn't make sense according to what you've been through. There are doors that will open not because of what you did, but because of who He is. But with those blessings comes the need to remain under His voice. The moment you stop listening is the moment you become vulnerable again. The Lord is pleading with you, not to scare you, but to protect you long after this night has passed. Stay close. Stay soft. Keep listening. Keep yielding. Because this covering is not for a night, it is for a lifetime. But only if you remain under the shadow of His wings. Do not return to the noise that once numbed you. Do not go back to the spiritual silence that kept you stuck. What God has started tonight can only grow if you protect this atmosphere, if you guard what He's planted, if you feed the fire He's lit in your spirit. People are asking why money is suddenly flowing into random lives. A leaked CIA discovery reveals a 7-second brain ritual that quietly rewires your mind for wealth. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, people are wiping out debt and stepping into luxury with ease. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. And He will help you. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to be perfect. He will walk with you in the quiet mornings. He will speak when you open His word. He will surround you in worship. He will guide you through every unknown. And He will keep you. Because you are His. Let this be the night that draws a new line. No more drifting. No more delay. No more compromise. You have heard the voice of God clearly. You have felt His presence deeply. And now, you are responsible for the shift that has happened in you. Don't waste it. Don't downplay it. Don't return to what He has just rescued you from. You are not the same. Your home is not the same. The atmosphere is not the same. You are standing on holy ground now, because the Lord Himself has entered. He has spoken. He has covered. He has warned. He has protected. And He is still here. The more you listen, the more your spirit aligns with heaven. He is not finished. What began as a warning has become an awakening, and what began as an interruption is now a full rescue mission for your house, your soul, and your future. You were never meant to carry this weight alone. The burdens that have pressed down on you for months, the silent fears, the secret worries, the things you never even knew how to speak out loud, He saw all of it. He felt the trembling of your spirit even when you hid it well from everyone else. And tonight, He is making it clear, I am not a distant God. I am not a silent observer. I am the God who walks into dark rooms uninvited and drives out every shadow. I am the God who bursts through spiritual walls to reach you in time. I am the God who says, I command you to listen, not because I want to control you, but because I want to save you. There is nothing random about the timing of this word. It was set in motion long before you pressed play. It was scheduled in the heavens, crafted for your heart, prepared for this exact moment in your life. God does not move on your schedule, He moves on His, and His timing is always perfect. Right now, He's giving you access to something sacred, something not everyone receives, not because they are less loved, but because they refuse to listen. But you are still here. You are still listening. And because of that, heaven is still working. Please pause for a moment and comment, 999, if you know God's timing is perfect and this word has reached you right on time. There are chains that have already started breaking. Not the kind that clatter to the floor in obvious drama, but the kind that have been wrapped around your thinking, your self-worth, your relationships. The kind that formed slowly through wounds, disappointments, trauma, and silence. The kind that people get used to carrying without even knowing how bound they are. God is not just protecting your home from outside attacks tonight, He's breaking internal prisons that have limited you for far too long. You've wondered why certain patterns keep repeating. Why some relationships keep falling into the same arguments. Why peace never seems to stay. Why every time you start to rise, something pulls you back down. And God is saying now, this is why I needed you to listen. There are things that started in the spirit that can't be fixed with surface-level solutions. This battle was never against people. It was never about personality. It was about strongholds, real spiritual forces that tried to root themselves into your home and identity. But because you listened, those strongholds are losing their grip. You are not crazy. You are not too emotional. You are not imagining the weight you've been carrying. The reason it's felt so intense is because the enemy has been trying desperately to stop what God placed inside you. But it's too late now. The light has come. The truth has been released. The voice of God has pierced through the noise, and His Spirit is taking back everything that darkness tried to claim. He is pulling you back into alignment. Your heart, your mind, your household, your destiny, it's all being realigned right now. This isn't just an emotional moment. This is spiritual deliverance. The way you think is being renewed. The way you see your family is being healed. The way you view your future is being restored. Because when the presence of God fills a place, it doesn't just protect, it transforms. And this transformation is not temporary. You are not going back to the way things were. That door has closed. That version of your life is over. The atmosphere has shifted. The covering has been established. You are under the shadow of the Almighty now, and when you stay there, no weapon formed against you will prosper. No lie will take root. No plan of hell will unfold. You are not just protected, you are planted. You are not just surviving, you are about to thrive in ways you never imagined. There is peace coming to your household that won't make sense to people around you. There will be a stillness so deep that it silences conversations, a clarity so strong that confusion has to flee. What once felt like daily battles will suddenly fall quiet. The spiritual tension will loosen. That heaviness that's pressed on your chest in the late hours of the night will break. Not because everything around you changed, but because God is now in full control. And He's not leaving. This is not the kind of moment where God visits and leaves. This is the kind of encounter that marks you for life. The kind that builds new foundations. The kind that makes you wake up different. The kind that makes your house feel different. His presence is resting now. Settling. Dwelling. He doesn't need a ceremony. He just needs your heart to stay open, your ears to stay listening, your spirit to stay hungry. Why is everyone rushing to this 7-second brain ritual? Leaked CIA files exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the door to wealth fast. Verified by 4 top neuroscience labs, it's turning financial stress into abundance almost overnight. But this secret won't stay public for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it's deleted forever. If you guard this moment, it will guard you. If you protect this atmosphere, it will protect your future. The Lord is not just saving you from what could have happened tonight, He is preparing you for what He's about to release. There is purpose coming. Acceleration coming. Healing coming. Joy coming. All because you chose to listen when He said, I command you. And don't forget this, He chose you to hear this. Not someone else. Not the one who seems more spiritual. Not the one who's had a perfect record. He chose you. Flawed. Wounded. Weary. But willing. And that was enough. Heaven saw your willingness and decided that was all it needed to move. So now you get to walk in the covering. You get to rest in the protection. You get to breathe again. You may still face hard days. You may still walk through seasons of uncertainty. But this moment becomes the anchor. This night becomes the line in the sand. This word becomes the voice you return to when fear tries to rise again. You are not who you were. Your home is not what it was. You are now covered. You are now marked. You are now protected by the God who sees all, knows all, and never fails. Sometimes the greatest move of God doesn't come through a miracle that others can see. Sometimes it happens in secret, when the Father walks into a room and changes the spiritual atmosphere without needing an audience. That's what is happening right now. The storm that was scheduled for your home tonight has not only been stopped, it has been reversed. What was meant to harm you will now lift you. What was meant to break you will now build something unshakable in your life. Not because of your strength. Not because of your knowledge. But because of your obedience. There is something sacred about obedience. Heaven always responds to it. Even when you feel small, even when your faith is flickering like a weak flame, one act of obedience opens the door for the power of God to rush in like a flood. You didn't have to feel strong to listen. You didn't have to be perfect. You just had to say yes to His voice. And you did. And now the weight of His glory is filling your home like oil, soaking into every dry, weary place. Take a second and comment, 1010, if you believe this word was sent directly to shift your atmosphere. The plans of the enemy have been cancelled, but God is not stopping there. He does not only protect, He restores. He rebuilds. He takes what the enemy hoped to use for destruction and turns it into evidence of His goodness. That's what's coming next for you. Restoration. Not just of peace, but of relationships. of inner strength, of clarity, of dreams that once felt buried. There were things in your life that seemed like they had quietly died over time, joy that faded, passion that grew cold, purpose that got lost beneath survival. But tonight, because you listened, God has begun the process of resurrection. He is breathing new life into what you thought was permanently gone. There is a deep stirring inside you even now, and it is not emotion, it is awakening. The Spirit of God is reviving what you gave up on. He is reminding you that what He has spoken over your life will not return void.